Hey everyone, Bella here, and today we're going to be talking about book promotion because what's the point of being an author if you don't actually sell any books? And in order to sell books, people kind of need to know they exist. And with the millions and millions and millions upon books that are out there, this can be a little difficult if you don't know how, and we're going to teach you. Many authors believe the work is done when the book is published, but that's far from the truth. Yes, there's a lot of work you have to do in order to write your book, but there's also work you need to implement after the book is published if you actually want to sell books. Maybe having the title of author is enough for you, but if you do want to make a difference with your book, if you want your message to get out there, or if you want to grow your business with your book, you need to know how to promote it in a way that actually gets sales. If you're currently not selling many books and you want to sell more, we do have a blog post all about how you can increase low book sales if you want to check that out. Otherwise, stick with this video and we're going to teach you promotional methods you can use in order to sell more books. This video is all about the book promotion alone, so let's get into how you can promote your book in a way that actually gets sales in return. Number one is to launch your book using a launch team. Now, if you've already launched your book, that's perfectly okay. You can do a relaunch. That is something that exists. And basically what a launch team is a group of people who helps you get your book out into the world. They're people who review it, they talk about it, they share it on social media, and ultimately this group of people is going to help you get those initial sales. And as we know, Amazon does favor books that are selling consistently right up front. In fact, the more book reviews you have, the higher your book will rank on Amazon, and your launch team is a big part of that. We have a video all about what a launch team is and how you can effectively utilize it, so make sure to check that out if you want some more details. But essentially, a launch team really helps your book get out into the world, and it helps get in front of people who will also enjoy it, since the members of your launch team are people who are genuinely interested in your book. And as we know, friends usually have similar interests, so by your launch team talking about it and getting it out on social media, it's more likely to land in front of the eyes of people who would also be interested in it. Method number two to promote your book is to host a giveaway. This is a great way to get people sharing information about your book. One easy way to do this is to just host a giveaway with one of the rules being to share a post on social media about the book. So not only will people get an option to win something from this giveaway, but they are basically giving you free advertisement. They're sharing their book. Other people who may not normally see what your book is or what it's about are going to view their post and potentially buy it. This is a great way to build hype around your book. Step number three is to create professional looking promotional images. Now, we all know that sometimes you don't have a big budget behind your book, and therefore you have to create some promotional images yourself. Thankfully, this is actually really simple to do on Photoshop. I know Photoshop can sound really scary, but I will walk you through exactly how to make some really good promotional images and for free. Although Photoshop is a subscription that you do have to pay about $10 a month if you want Photoshop, but it's absolutely worth it if you want to create really high resolution, great images for your book. Because after all, how can people take you seriously if the images you promote of your book are really low quality? They're going to believe that your book is just as low quality. So you want to make sure that people are seeing your book in a way that shows them just how great it really is. And high value promotional images is exactly how you do that. So we're going to get right into how you can do this for free right now. So in order to create really high quality book promotion images, I really recommend using Photoshop. Now, there are probably other ways to create similar images, but Photoshop is just, for me, the easiest way to make really high quality ones that are cheap. Because Photoshop does have a $10 a month fee if you want to use it. I do personally recommend it because it is such a high value tool to have for not just these book promotional images, but all of them combined with your book marketing efforts. So go to Google and type in free paperback book cover mockups Photoshop. I recommend using all of that, especially if you do have paperback. If you have hardback, definitely do hardback. I just want to make sure that your images look reflective of your book. I don't want them to be misleading in any way because then it can cause a little bit of issues with people. So the one that I recommend checking out is the 31 best book cover mockups for effective book marketing. And one that I really like is this one just right here. So it's very simple. It's nothing too crazy, but you are able to have just the book image and you can put it on any other background that you want within Photoshop, and I'll show you how. So really all you have to do is get more info, /download. Download for free. And you can see it working its magic. And let's find the link right here. And you can see it's downloading. We'll wait a second for that. And as you can see, there are other mock-ups over here on the side if you do have different types of books that you want to get mock-ups for with different backgrounds. We're going to use this simple one just because it's easiest. So click on the download and the zip file, and you will have a Photoshop file, which is a PSD and a JPEG. So this is just the image and you can't change anything. Click on the Photoshop file. And so you'll open to something that looks like this. Now there are a number of different things over here. I know Photoshop can be scary, but if you follow this step by step, you will have your book cover on this image in no time. So what I need you to do beforehand is download your book cover. I have one from our Published by Chandler. And we're going to just use that as an example. If you haven't bought this, by the way, and you're looking to publish a book, it's a very, very great resource for that. And so what you want to do in order to change this top image is to click right here. So you can see where the image is on this, and this is called a smart object. You want to click inside there, and it opens to this. And all you're going to do is delete that image and drag and drop your book cover image inside of this space and make sure it fills it up all the way. This is the best way. Make sure it's even, make sure it looks good, and then all you're going to do is go up to File and Save. And what this does is it saves this image on the front. So you go back to this tab, and now you have this book. And that is a really high quality image of your book. Now, what you can do here, if you want to place this image on any other background. So if you want to make it look like it's on a desk, all you have to do is just delete this background color and the studio backdrop. And then it's called a PNG if you save this as a PNG file. So go to File, Save As, and we'll just call this Published. And what you want to do is save it to wherever you can find it on your desktop, and then save this as a PNG file. And what that does is it's going to make the background clear. And so your background is going to be completely clear on here. So if you want to use this for promotional reasons and you want to change the background to a color other than white, you can go ahead and delete the background like I showed you. Select both of these. So you're going to click this one, and then if you have a Mac, click Command. If you have Windows, click Control, and then select both of them. So they're both highlighted here. And then you can move this over. And all you have to do to create a background color is find this little square, click on it, go up to this color here, and you want to make sure the stroke is none, so there's no border around it unless you want there to be. Click here, and I'm going to actually, I'm going to use this yellow because there's some yellow in the book, and just click and drag to the length of the background. And so you want to make sure it covers all of it. And the reason it's on top is because it's on top in the layers. All you have to do is click, drag this down to the bottom. And you have this whole book. You can click on the text. You can add some text out, let's say May 31st. So you're going to change the text color out May 31st. And to change the font, you can go up to here. You have a bunch of different ones. You can change the font size here. Let's make this 160. And then you can add in anything else you want. And what this really does is just gives you a really high quality image that you can use for promotional purposes. And so that's just the easy way to do it on Photoshop. Don't worry if Photoshop looks scary. This process is actually very, very easy. It's just about knowing where to go and what to do. And I've just shown you that. Now, if you do want to create an image background instead of just a solid color one, all you would do is click and drag your image over like this. We'll use this one, and just place it in the background behind all of the layers. And then it'll be in the background like that. So you can use any print images, anything you find on Google to create that. I hope this was really helpful for you guys. Step number 4 is to use paid ads on Amazon or BookBubs or other platforms that allow you to create ads for your book. Now, this is for people who have a little bit of a budget behind their book and who are willing to invest in the future of their book. We see a lot of great returns if you know how to create your ads correctly and the best for you, which we talk a lot about in our course, Sell More Books. I will link a video below that covers exactly what is in this course if you're interested. But essentially, when you create ads, you are putting your book in a space that allows other people to see it. Because the biggest issue and the biggest problem when it comes to promoting your book is just, how do people see it? How are people going to get their eyes on it? Because if you really believe in your book and it looks great, has a great cover and a great title, it's going to speak to people so long as they can just get their eyes on it. And ads are a great way to do that. We also have a really valuable blog post all about the 20 really creative and unique ways you can use Amazon ads to get your book noticed. Check out that blog post and let us know down below if you found it useful. Step number 5 to promote your book is to be active on social media. This is crucial, especially in this day and age when pretty much everybody who has a smartphone or a computer has social media. The key here is to be on the social media platforms that your audience frequents most. And this is different depending on their age range specifically. For example, the Facebook demographic is typically a little bit older. So think of your parents or your grandparents. People who are between the ages of 40 and 70 typically are on Facebook more than they are on Twitter or Instagram. And keep in mind that people who are younger, millennial age, are typically on Instagram or Twitter versus Facebook. So you really want to focus on the platform that your readers are most active on because you want your book to be in front of the eyes of people who are most likely to buy it. Therefore, you're not wasting your time with all these promotional methods. Method number 6 is to get book endorsements. So the great thing about endorsements is that you are utilizing somebody else's audience in order to promote your book. And the great thing about this is that people who are following that other person that is going to give you the book endorsement already trust them. So you are effectively using their trust in order to get people to trust you in your book, because that is one of the most difficult things about selling a book is people wondering, well, I don't know this person. Should I trust what they say? Should I trust their methods and what they're talking about in their book? By using a book endorsement like the one here by one of our students is that you are utilizing their audience in order to get book sales. They have already built up the trust with their audience, and therefore you're kind of just transferring that trust to you through them. We have a blog post all about book endorsements and how you can get them and why they're super effective for selling more books. You can check that out. I will link it below. Method number 7 is to land yourself some interviews. Interviews are a really great way to place yourself as an authority and get the word out about you and your book. So it's not even just about your book, it's about you as an authority and why people can trust the words that you have written in your book. But if you do land those interviews, it can be extremely impactful for your book sales and getting the word out. Take Emma Sumner, for example. She was actually our youngest student. She wrote and published a book at 8 years old, and we have an interview of her on Good Day Sacramento where she talks about her book and the process of writing it. Now, as you can expect, this excited a lot of people. There are now an entire audience who knows about her book that didn't before just because of this interview. And since she has got other paid interviews for her book as well. Method number 8 for book promotion might be something that you probably never considered before, and that is writing guest posts for other blogs and websites. A guest post is basically a blog post you write for somebody else as an outsider. You're not really on their staff of writers. But the great thing about a guest post is that it places you as an authority in front of an audience that is perfect for your book. So what you really want to do is think about what topics does your book cover and what websites you can put blog posts on that cover maybe a single chapter or a single section in your book where you write about it and you talk about the details of it. And then this allows you to place links to your book, and typically with guest posts you have a little author bio at the bottom where you can put your social accounts, links to your book, and just a little bit about you in general. But how do you get guest posts? One great way to get guest posts is to just visit websites that cover the same topics that you do in your book, send an email to them, and ask if they would allow you to write a guest post for them. Sometimes you have to pay for this guest post, but other times it's completely free. You do the work for free, but what you get in return is very valuable. As an example, we allow some of our students to write guest posts on our website, and they get an author bio with their book, and it's all about stuff that they cover in their book. So this places them as an authority, and it just allows more sales of their books. That's all I've got today when it comes to book promotion. Ultimately, the more you talk about your book, the more methods you find to make sure people who don't normally see your book will get their eyes on it, increases your sales, and probably makes you a much happier author. If you are interested in some of our expert methods to sell more books, check out the training we have linked below. It is packed full of different promotional methods and ultimately will help you sell more books. Thank you guys for hanging out. Give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw, if you learned something new, and comment down below a promotional method that maybe we don't mention here that has worked really well for you. Thanks guys, I will see you next time.
14 out, and then another children's book on the way, which children's books were my new thing this year, and those were fun. You asked a little bit about the Sell More Books program. This I took today, and I got 3 books with the #1 bestseller, up today. During the program, I went through and